Hey everyone and welcome back. In this video we are going to add screencasting feature to our application. This video is going to be kind of big one, so I want you to focus on this one and I'll try my best to explain everything step by step. So let's start with the basics. Let's go and create a new function called setup screencasting. We need to trace our status of screencasting, so let's create a var is screencasting and it's going to be false initially, and let's go back and create this function. But before I start writing this function, I'm going to need two helper functions to update the UI that hey, the screen is being casted and you have to update the UI, and in case that it is ended, you should update it back to the UI that it was before. So let's write a function called update UI to screen capture is on, and then update UI that is screencast is off. So in this function I'll use an apply block and set local visibility to false. Also switch camera button equal to false, and toggle camera button also it has to be false, and we wanna set the screen share button image resource to order trouble IEC stop screen share, just like that. And let's copy and paste it here, so it has to be true. Same for these guys, and I see screen share here. And right here, using views.apply, I'm gonna attach a listener to screen share button. We have to check if is screencasting is false, then we have to start casting. If it's not, then we have to screencasting. So let's write this scenario first. In this case, you want to set the screencasting to false. It means the screencasting is ended, and update UI to a screencasting is off. And then using service repository, toggle screen share or screencast, doesn't matter, to false. But to start a screencast, you should get permission from the user that hey, I want to record your screen. So to do that, first we want to show a dialog that are you sure that you want to cast your screen, it's not an accidental click. So let's create our dialog builder, set title screen casting, set message you sure to start casting, and set positive button to yes, and get the callback here with dialog and underline. We just need the dialog, and set negative button to no, and get the callback like this, then create and show. So the no button will be dismissing the dialog, and the yes button will start screen casting process. So let me create a function start screen capture and also dismiss the dialog. So let's create this function. So what we need here is to create a screen capture instance and ask the user that hey, do you want to proceed, do you want to continue and let the application capture your intent. So I'm going to create a MediaProjection manager using application.getSystemService with the name of context.MediaProjection service, and I'm going to cast it as MediaProjection manager. And after that I'll create the screen capture or capture intent, and using MediaProjection manager create screen capture. So our screen is ready, but I do need to launch this intent, so I'll need a request capture launcher. I'll go up here and create private latenit var request screen capture launcher of type activity result launcher, and the type is going to be an intent. But you always have to initialize your activity result launchers inside your onStart function. So let's go on and use onStart function and initialize our launcher this way. Register for activity result and the activity result, and it's going to get activity result contracts dot start activity for results, and it's going to receive a callback. It's an activity result, so we check if result dot result code is equal to activity dot results. Okay, it means that the result was successful, so we'll get the response intent from results dot data. And now it's time to give this intent to our service, and service passes it to our WebRTC clients. So to do that, I'll have to use my main service and set a screen permission intent to this intent. So let's go and create this object. I'll do it inside the companion object of type intent, and it's going to be null initially, and after that we set is screencasting to true, update UI to screencasting is on, and then send the signal to service repository that toggle screencast or screen share to true. This should be the same name with this one. It's going to be false. So let's create this function. It's going to be is starting. So I'll create my intent main service class. I'll set the action to main service actions dot toggle screen share dot name, and put some extra to it. Is starting, and then start service intent and pass this intent to it. So let's create this enum object, and we are ready to go to our main service class and handle this situation. Let's go here, and in this case I want to handle toggle screen share with incoming intent to it. Let's create this function, and inside here I want to get is starting boolean from incoming intent, get boolean extra, and is starting default value should be true, and then check if is starting is true. In this case we should start screen share, but we have to keep it in mind that we first should remove the camera streaming first. And in this case we should stop screen share and check if camera streaming was on, so we should make it on back again. So we should keep a status of previous call state. To do that, I'll create a variable private var is previous call state video, and it's going to be true. And there are some times that this one will get updated. For example, if we start with the audio call, this should be false. So let's go back to handle set of views which was here, and set it his previous state call to his video call. So if it's audio call, we should know. And when we toggle the camera button, it should be changed. So let's go to handle toggle video, and here the previous state should be opposite of should be muted, because if we say should camera be muted, so the previous state is false, it's an audio call. It should not be muted, the previous state will be video call. So let's go back up here and check if is previous video call true. Then we wanna use main repository to toggle video and set to true, it should be muted. And then using main repository and set screen capture intent and pass our screen permission intent to it. And after that, main repository toggle screen share to true. It means we should start sharing our screen. But here, first we use the function toggle screen share and set it to false. It means we should remove our screen share and then check previous call state was video call. Then we should toggle video to false. It means we should start streaming our video again. So let's create these two functions for our main repository, and same for this one. This is starting, and in here I want to use WebRTC clients and set permission intent to this screen share permission intent, and we check here if the starting is true. Then we want to use WebRTC client dot start screen capturing. If it's false, then we want to stop screen capturing. So let's create these three functions inside our WebRTC client as well, and start screen capturing and then stop screen capturing. Let's remove this T here. Okay, so let's go to our WebRTC client and set up what we need for screencasting. So we should use this screen permission intent and store it inside our class. Let's go up here and create a section for screencasting. I'll create a private var permission intent of type intent. It's going to be null initially, and back here this dot permission intent is equal to screen permission intent. So we do have our permission intent right here, and let's set a different section for a screen capture section. To start casting your screen, you're going to need a video capture object. So let's create a function, private fun create screen capturer, and it's going to return a video capturer from WebRTC library. We simply return the new object of ScreenCapturerAndroid, and what it needs, it's going to need the intent and a MediaProjection callback. So we do have our intent, which is permission intent, and a MediaProjection callback. So I'll create it anonymously using MediaProjection.callback and implement on stop here, and we're going to log the if permission is stopped. So permission of screencasting is stopped. You can notify the client that hey, permission is stopped, so you can turn the screen share off, but I'm not going into the details. But if you want to, that's the way. So using create screen capture, we will have a video capturer. So let's go back up here and create our screen capturer, and it's going to be null initially. Let's go back to our start screen capture. First thing to do is to get display matrices. We'll create a display matrices object, and using Windows Manager, using context, get system service dot context Windows service as window manager, and Windows Manager dot default displays get matrices, and pass our display matrix to it. So we will get screen with pixels is equal to display matrices dot with pixels, and screen height pixels is going to be display matrices dot height pixels. And then we will create a surface texture helper using create function and pass thread.name and EGL based context, and then screen capturer will be initialized like this: create screen capture using screen capture function. And then we want to initialize our screen capture, and we know it's not null since we just initialized it, and pass surface texture helper to it, context as the context, and local screen video source that I'm going to create right now, capture observer. So let's go up in here. We need to create a video source for our screen capture. Private val local screen video source. I'm gonna initialize it by lazy using PeerConnection factory, create video source and pass false to it. So let's go down here again, capture observer, and then using screen capturer you wanna start capture with the dimensions screen with pixels, screen height pixels, and with 50 fps. So right here, local screen share track that I should make right now using PeerConnection will be initialized, create video track with the ID of local track ID and local screen video source. So let's create this screen share track, screen share video track. Let's actually rename it to screen share video track. Let's go up here and private var is going to be of type video track and it's null initially. So let's go back down here, and after creating your video track, it's time to add sync to our local surface view to render what's going on. And then using local stream, you want to add this track, local screen share track, and then using PeerConnection add this stream. And for stop capturing, we should stop capture from screen capturer and then dispose it, then local screen video track, remove sync from our local surface view, and local surface view clear image, local stream, remove this track, local screen share track, and then dispose this track. Also, do not forget to dispose your screen capturer when you're trying to close your connection. Now let's go back to our call activity, and using capture intent I want to use my launcher that launch.capture intent. And one more thing, right here when you start screen capturing, the local ID track should be exact same as the previous one. So if you check your camera local track or local video track, we just named it local track ID underline video. So for your screen capturing, it should be the same. So let's run our application again and check if everything is working fine. I'll log in here and same here. Let's start the video call and then try to start screen sharing. It asks you if you want to show your display to the other peer. Press start. You can see screen is being casted and it's our screen. If I minimize this application, you'll see that the screen is being cast. So if I go back to our application and turn off screencasting, you'll see we will go back to previous state of video call. So that's it for this video, and on the next video we are working on the last video actually, which will be exiting our whole process of video call and our service. So till the next video, see you everyone.